Hello and welcome to On the Racing Line. I'm your host, Jim Perry. On the Racing Line is a series of shows that will highlight the drivers who are competing in the Spec Racer Ford Gen2 ProTour series by Elite Autosport. During the show, you'll meet the drivers and learn about how they got involved in motorsports racing in general, and more specifically in the Tour. We hope that you find these shows both entertaining and educational. And who knows, it may even result in you getting in behind the wheel of an SRF and coming together with us in one of our next events as part of the Pro Tour series. So join me now as we take you on the racing line. Hi, I'm Jim Perry. We're interviewing some of the drivers for our SRF Gen2 Elite Autosport series that has been going on for now 4 years. And we're privileged today to have with us the driver of 66 in the Gen2 series. And I'm going to ask him to introduce himself and say a little bit about where he's from and what he does.
I'm Peter Jankovskis. I live in Lisle, Illinois. Professionally, I'm a portfolio manager. I've been in the finance field for about 30 years, and I've been racing spec racers for about 20 years.
A portfolio manager, that's a good profession because it takes a portfolio to do this.
It does. The old saw about racing is the surest way to make a small fortune is start with a large one.
That's right. So you've been doing this for about 20 years? Mm-hmm. Did you start in a Gen2 or?
Yes, I did. I started initially as a rental driver. I did that for a year, and then I decided, actually it was 2 years, and near the end of the second year I actually bought my own car, which was serviced by Bo Martin at Elite Autosport, and continued to go from there.
Uh-huh.
I've gone from Gen 2, I also have a Gen 3 which I race regularly, and been heavily involved in some of the development work on the Gen 3 as well.
Oh, very good. Development work, tell us about that a little bit.
Well, it was an interesting process. I worked with Bo Martin, and we had one of the original 12 Gen 3s. So we went through the whole process of developing the transmission, trying to beef up the gears, beef up drive shafts, and then eventually, as we've now adopted and had for 2 years now, the sequential shift transmission for the Gen 3. So we're heavily involved in all of that.
Right. Well, of course, you see that Peter is multi-talented. He not only does development, he drives the Gen 3, drives them all very, very effectively. In fact, when I started driving the Gen 2 a couple of years ago, I asked Peter to give me some hints on how I might not be always at the back of the pack, and it was extremely valuable. And if I can follow Peter, I follow him at least until I lose sight of him.
You're very kind. Thank you.
So the Gen 2 has been sort of the stalwart for you starting your career in this. And you say you started with Bo?
Yes, I rented from Bo, and that was a very good relationship, and got to know him well, and reached a point where I decided having my own car was the way to go. A key benefit of that, having your own car, is to be able to customize it, put in the seat that you like, the steering wheel that you like, add data systems. And all of that was, I think, critical in my path as becoming a better driver, was having all of that equipment.
I'm curious, do you still watch your own videos?
I do from time to time. If I'm struggling with something, or particularly if I'm at a newer track that I haven't been to a lot, I like to go back and look at it, and it's a great way to warm up for the weekend as well, is to sit and look at it and remind yourself the key points that you have to hit.
Well, we're at Audubon Country Club in beautiful Joliet, Illinois today, and this is sort of your home track, isn't it?
It is, yes. I've been a member here since they opened, also in 2005, and I've had a garage here since 2007.
So would you call it your favorite track, or do you have a favorite track?
Well, to be honest, I've spent a lot of time racing at Black Hawk Farms, and as much as I enjoy driving here and have a lot of laps here, Black Hawk is still my favorite.
Oh, it is. Why do you say that? What contrast Audubon and Black Hawk, because they're about the same length?
They
of
are
the
about
track?
the same length. Autobahn is very good in terms of developing your technical abilities, being a very disciplined driver and hitting things. But the straightaways are relatively short. And if you really want to do side-by-side racing, that's what makes, of course, Blackhawk so appealing. With that long front straightaway, you also have some overtaking opportunities elsewhere around the track. And while this track has a variety of corners that are different, the thing that I always find interesting about Blackhawk is you have 4 critical corners. All of them have pretty much the same speed. They're within a couple of miles an hour, but you have to drive them all differently because of the way they're structured. So that's one of the things I really love about Blackhawk.
Okay, and we race Road America a lot. What's your opinion of Road America? How do you feel about that?
Well, Road America is a track that I certainly enjoy. It has a lot of history. I, in fact, attended my first race there before I was born. My mother was 6 months pregnant with me up at the June Sprints many years ago. And have enjoyed racing there, enjoyed driving there. But it's a high-speed course, and when bad things happen, they can be quite bad. So I've had some mixed experiences there.
I think we all have.
Yeah.
So you say that you've been doing this for 20 years. Do you race any other cars other than a Spec Racer 4?
Well, Spec Racer has been my main love, but I've also dabbled in some others. I had a Spec Race Cobra, Ford Cobra, which we developed with Bo, and was successful. We won a Central Division Championship with that. I also have a Lola T70 replica, which is great fun. Certainly growing up, memories of the movie Le Mans is very dear to my heart, and a great deal of fun to drive. Also managed to win a Sen Div championship with that car. So
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So Peter, you race an SRF3 and you race an FRF2. What is it about the two, and why do you participate in this series? Is there something special about the series to you that kind of draws you in?
Well, yes, I definitely miss racing a Gen 2. It's a very different experience than racing a Gen 3. The Gen 3 is a very precision instrument, but also if you make a mistake with the gearbox and the torque that it has, it's easy to recover. The Gen 2 is more of a pure momentum race car, and so you really have to plan things out, always be prepared, and be able to drive past another driver when they make a mistake. So a very different experience. It's also fun, getting to know the current drivers there, as I've raced with the Gen 3 crowd for a long time, and getting to know a new group of racers.
Right. Well, we have up to 18 SRF2s that participate at one time or another. Generally, we will have anywhere from 7 to 10 on a weekend. It's a great series, lots of fun with friends, but we also have options to win things even if you don't finish up front. Now, Peter doesn't have that problem. He usually finishes up front, but he is also extremely lucky. So today, in today's drawing, Peter walks away with a set of SRF2 wheels. You can never have too many parts for your car, can you?
That is true. You always manage to use them up in some way or another.
Right. So, as sort of a final question, given that you've done all these different race cars, what do you drive on as a daily driver?
Well, it varies. Sometimes I have a Silverado, Chevy Silverado pickup truck. I also have a Z06 Corvette, which is a lot of fun to drive on the street. So those are my main drivers.
But there are other ones in addition?
Well, I also have a Honda Odyssey, which we call the mighty SRO for Spec Racer Odyssey, which surprisingly enough, you can have a lot of fun in a minivan, believe it or not.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, Peter. We really appreciate you taking time to actually spend a little time with us today. Best wishes on the SRF2 race and the SRF3 race coming up today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me, and thanks to all who have worked so hard to make the SRF Gen2 ProTour series such a success. Our sponsors for the series have been Elite Autosport, Bulldog Security, VTO Wheels, Hoosier Tires, SCCA Enterprises, and Blackhawk Farms Raceway. Thanks also to all the crews, the fans, and all the competitors that have been part of the series for the last several years. And we'll see you again next time on the Racing Line.